Hey everyone, I am Anthony Scott at ToyHypeUSA.com. Today we are reviewing the third Star Wars R2-D2 Astromech Droid subscription box from FanHome. I would like to thank FanHome for providing this box for review. Greatly appreciate that. I have more reviews just like this coming, so make sure to come back and check them out. This subscription box, just as the other two that I've done, ships in a standard box as shown with the purple artwork and the FanHome logo, which you see here. Side of the box gives you a look at their social media channels and hashtag FanHome. Same thing on the other side. Inside the box are magazines, issues 7, 8, 9, and 10, which you can see there. There's also 4 bags for 7, 8, 9, and 10, featuring new parts to assemble for R2-D2. And as a special bonus, you get this gigantic poster book, which you see right here, that we're going to take a closer look at. Here's a look at the front of the poster book. You have the Star Wars R2-D2 text above there, and an image of R2-D2 right there. This opens just as a standard book. And inside are several posters that you can frame and display. This is C-3PO, R2-D2, and BB-8 right there. Next up is from Planet Hoth, and I'm assuming that's Luke Skywalker with the snowmobile. Very nice image there. Really did a nice job painting it. And the last poster is R2-D2, which you see there. Here's a closer look at issue 7 from the magazine, as well as bag number 7. So what's in bag number 7? There's instructions in the last couple pages of the magazine how to assemble those parts to R2-D2. And inside this magazine here is building R2-D2, continuing the chassis for R2-D2's head. So that's what you're going to be working on. And those pieces will most likely connect with other previous steps to build R2-D2. Also inside, the Star Wars Stunt Team, giving you a look at the stunts from the movies and how they went about in doing that. And of course, there's the Droid Directory, LOM series protocol droids, which you see right there. So let's open this up. And just like the previous magazines, you have the contents right there on the left. Let's see if we can closer look at that. And on the right, you have the first article, which is the Stunt Team. So let's take a closer look at that article here. There's a lot of really good fun facts and information in these magazines. So my recommendation would be taking your time to read it and just thoroughly enjoying it. Also a lot of great images that most fans probably haven't seen before. Alright, so here is the protocol droid. And a continuation of that, you see that right there. Another article, artificial assistance. And, okay, here's a continuation of that. So, as I said, the last couple of pages are going to be assembly for R2-D2. You're going to be building the head frame and leg components. So, you're going to get all these pieces shown right here. And these are the steps that you're going to be taking. The assembly is finished now for this particular magazine. And let's just take a closer look at this. So first you're going to finish up by putting the frames back around this metal piece here. As shown, you're going to screw it in first with bolts and the little screws that come in there. And then you're going to assemble R2-D2's right angle fitting, which you see right here. And you're going to stick the screw as shown right in there. And you're going to do this twice. So just be aware of that. So when you're done, this is what this piece is going to look like. It's now going to have 3 frames around it. And if you look really closely, look at the tiny little bolts right there. Or, excuse me, nuts, I should say. And here's a look at the 2 ankle pieces. You see the tiny little black screws that are holding these together. The only 2 pieces in this particular set that doesn't appear that is going to require any assembly right now are these 2 right here in my hand. So these are labeled as DF05. And after a quick check, I don't know if we're going to be using them in issues 8, 9, and 10, but I will double check that and let's see. So for now, just put these little pieces in a safe spot, as you will likely need them later on for assembly. Up next is issue 8, and to the left there is all the parts going to be used to build the next step for R2-D2. Issue 8 includes parts of the head frames and ankle components, and the article is Inside Star Wars, the Weapon of the Jedi, obviously that's called the lightsaber, and a new article for Droid Directory, Imperial Mark IV Sentry Droid. So here is a closer look at those images for you. Opening this up, and you have the contents there on the left. Let's bring that in a little bit closer. And on the right, you have the first article, The Weapon of the Jedi. There's that nice image right there. Sketch drawings. So here's a full look at the article. New article, Imperial Mark IV Sentry Droid. And here's another article about humanoid robots. And a continuation of that. So now we're going to start building the head frame and ankle components of R2-D2. And let's take a look there. So these are all the components that are going to be used to construct R2-D2 included with this magazine. Okay, here is a look at all the steps involved with that. So first we're going to be assembling the frame, just as we've done with issue number 7, but this is going to be requiring a few more pieces of the frame. And then we're going to start with the top ring. As shown right there. And then we're going to be assembling the right ankle. More pieces of that. And on this side, this gives you a few more steps and the final assembly as shown. Here's a closer look at the finished assembly. So first you're going to be continuing on for the frame for the top of the head, and there's a look at that. That is nearly completed. Next you're going to be starting the ring top, and you see how this part goes in. As shown, you just basically assemble it and screw that piece on. The final step with issue number 8 is R2-D2's right ankle fitting, and that is what this is right here. So these pieces right here were from issue 7. You just assemble it, screw that into the back right there, and once you finish all that, you take the right leg that you've assembled using previous magazines, and for now you're just going to place it on as shown. You're not going to attach this on yet. So there's your look at that. All right, so we are moving on to issue number 9. Up next is issue 9, as well as the bag that is included with it. Inside issue 9 is building R2-D2, the head, chassis, and real holographic projector. Inside Star Wars, creating a used galaxy, and Droid Directory, CZ series, secretary droids. So let's start taking a look inside issue number 9. You have the table of contents, as previously seen through other issues. The layout is the same. First article, creating a used galaxy. Some very nice classic pictures right there, including of George Lucas, right there on the bottom. Oops. And here is the rest of the article, including some really old images that you've probably never seen before. All right, now we are going into the droid. Here is a closer look at this side. Structural plastic, much of R2-D2's framework and external paneling is made from a type of molded plastic material that is found in a vast range of engineering, consumer, and industrial goods. ABS plastic. So it's a whole article about that. The machine used. A lot of really good information in here. And a continuation. All about making the plastic and a lot of other tidbits of information. So now we're getting to the construction of issue number 9. And for this, you're going to be using all those pieces inside the bag as shown. So the first order of business is we are going to be completing the dome right around here. We're going to be assembling these metal pieces. We're going to get a full circle as shown. Next, we're going to be doing the framework right around here, finishing that, attaching both this piece, onto this. Bring that in a little bit closer so you guys can see. And then some new parts, including R2-D2's rear holographic projector. So this looks like very easy assembly, nothing too complicated. All right, I'm going to assemble it, and let's take a closer look. The assembly is now finished, so this right here is the first part. All of the nuts and the screws have been attached, and here's a closer look at that. The frame is now assembled. So there's your look at that piece, and then R2-D2's rear holographic projector, as seen right here. That's this little piece. You see how that is assembled. And just bringing it in a little bit closer, giving you guys a look at that. 2 screws, assemble that in there, and there is your look at that. So now we're going to move into magazine issue number 10. The final magazine offered in the 3rd box is issue number 10, and you see the bag that is included with that. Inside this magazine is Building R2-D2, Head Frame and Lens Assembly, Inside Star Wars Visual Effects Part 1, and in Droid Directory we have Wedge Treadmill Droid Series. So now we're taking a closer look at issue number 10. And inside this issue, we have a table of contents. There is a closer look at that. And the first article includes the visual effects. So here is your closer look at that. Great image right there. And a continuation. Next, we have the Wedge Treadmill. And continuation of that. New article for robot arms. Oops. And a continuation. All right, so now we get to the head frame, lens, and parts, or excuse me, leg parts to build R2-D2. And you see these parts right here. This is what's included in the bag. There's a full look at R2-D2 once fully assembled. And in this step, it's basically straightforward. So by now, you really should know what you're doing as far as assembly. What you're going to be doing is extending the head cases, which you see right there. So once that is done, you're going to be putting on that one last piece and assembling the lens. So when you get to here, you're not yet up to this step. They're just demonstrating what it's going to look like for as far as the frame. So what I'm going to do now is assemble it, and we'll take a closer look. Here's a look at the final assembly for magazine number 10. As you can see here, this is extending the head chases, and this is all assembled. So when you're done, it's going to look just like this. All the nuts and bolts are in there, nice and sturdy, nice metal frame. And on here, you're just going to be focusing on this part, as most of this was already completed in previous steps. So you're just going to be putting in those nuts and screws right through there. Next is assembling the lens. And as I already showed you, this is pretty straightforward. Just make sure you're using the correct screws. Those tiny black screws. Step number 6. So when you're done with that, you're going to have a piece that looks just like this. This doesn't want to stay put. So that's the assembly, and going back to here, we are looking at the leg parts again, which are not going to be used in this particular magazine. So for now, put these in a safe space. They come in this plastic protector. I suggest holding on to this, keep them in the protector for now, and you'll be using those in a future assembly. Here's one last look at all the parts that are going to be assembled with issues 7 through 10, which you see here. Overall, really loving how this is coming out. I, for one, can't wait to finish building R2-D2. I think he's going to be great. My recommendation is to subscribe to FanHome, and you can check out the details right on toyhypeusa.com and click off any of the links to FanHome and subscribe that way. We would greatly appreciate that, as it could be tracked. I am Anthony Scott at toyhypeusa.com. Thanks again to FanHome for providing the subscription box number 3 of R2-D2 for review. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for more coverage.